Hey everybody, we got a little project today. I found a new crack in the teak coaming on the port side. So that's gonna have to get taken care of today. Now it's time to go ahead and put some more teak oil on all this teak. We made a decision and decided to say, we're not hitting that marker over there. This boat doesn't like to sail into the wind, which is fine. It's a great boat, but it doesn't like to go in the wind.
Hi everyone, this is Danny, and welcome to Sailing Beautiful. This channel is dedicated to sharing my story of buying an old sailboat, fixing her up, and chasing a dream. Please subscribe, like the videos, and join me in this adventure.
Hey everybody, we got a little project today, and I noticed about 2 weeks ago that we found a new crack in the teak coaming on the port side. So that's going to have to get taken care of today. And I've previously used wood glue in situations like this, but that doesn't seem to hold up very well. So I'm going to try to epoxy it today. Now, I think the proper way to do it would be to sand it down and then apply the epoxy. But today, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to try to get away with just getting enough epoxy in the crack itself and then clamping it down with clamps, and then hopefully that will hold. And then after the epoxy's dry, if there's anything raised on the outside of the teak, I'll go ahead and sand that down and then apply teak oil. It needs new teak oil anyway, so it needs a whole new coat of teak oil. So anyway, that's the project for today, so let's get started. All right, so here's the crack right here, and I'm going to try to push this board back a bit to open that crack enough and use a syringe to put in some thickened epoxy into this crack, and then kind of use a putty knife to push it in there, and then put some clamps down to hold that in place and let that epoxy set up. So that's what we're going to do. So first step, we've got to mix some epoxy. All right, today we're using some 406 silica to thicken the epoxy. I'm not going to thicken it too much. I want to try to get it to where it will flow into that crack. So probably a little bit more like ketchup versus peanut butter is the consistency I'm going for. So that's what we're going to do. Probably only going to need about one pump each. We don't really need a whole lot of epoxy to go with this right now. If we need more, we can always make more. I don't want to make too much. We just need to add our silica. Be careful with this stuff, it flies everywhere here. I just had some fly all the way in the back of my truck because of the wind, so you can't help some of it, but you don't want to breathe the stuff in here. You'll never get it out of your lungs if you do. I'm just mixing up. I think that one scoop is exactly what we're going to need. I don't know if you can see that, but basically like a ketchup type consistency in there. All right, now that we have our epoxy mixed, we're gonna take it and we're gonna put it into this syringe, and then we're going to use that to squeeze it into the crack. All right, so I got my thickened epoxy, and we'll go ahead and get the syringe and inject it into here. Spread this out, spread the crack out as wide as possible. Get this epoxy first. It's okay if some of it runs out. I'll put that up here in a second. I'm using slow hardener because this is Florida and it gets hot. So rather than curing too fast, I like to let it cure slow in this Florida heat. That way we get enough time to work it. Cutting knife, just go right along that. Yeah, paper towel, get messy quick. Push some more in there. Try not to wipe too much over the crack because you'll actually pull some of this epoxy back out. So I'm going to clean this up. And then if there's any that's remaining afterwards, you can sand it down and then just put some more teak oil back over it and it'll look good as well. So little sections. Get close, nearly done. Injecting the epoxy. Now, if the crack was accessible on the other side of the teak, there's actually a trick to this. You can actually use a wet dry vent, hold it on one side of the crack, and then do it put the epoxy on this side, turn the vacuum on, and it will actually literally suck that epoxy into the crack. But unfortunately, don't have access to the crack, and it's actually below where it joins against the deck right here. So we're going to have to just do it this way. This method should work for this small crack. Fingers crossed. Right. That's pretty good. We might have that dry a little white afterwards, because that's what thickened epoxy dries as. So I have to do some sanding maybe afterward, but we'll see. And I'm going to put this in clamps. See that on camera, but as I'm squeezing down this clamp, it's actually squeezing some more of the epoxy out of that crack, which is good. That means that you get a good solid connection there. All right, let's try it. Oh yeah, it's just coming right out, which is good. As tight as I possibly can. Okay, so I guess my battery died when I was putting these clamps on, but I've smoothed it out a little bit more after that epoxy came out, and now we just let it sit. Like I said, I didn't sand it beforehand, so keeping my fingers crossed that this is going to work and hold, but only time will tell. At this point now that the epoxy's in that crack, now we just gotta let it set up and cure, which is gonna be 12, 24 hours. So I'll be coming back maybe tomorrow, if the weather's right, to inspect it and see how it went. And then if we need to sand, we'll sand it. But either way, I gotta put more teak oil on this anyway. It's due for a couple more coats. So that's on my list, and that's where we are. So if you enjoyed that, see you in a little while. Well, here we are at the docks again, and as you can see, it's really rolly right now. We got another northeast wind blowing, and it's knocking the boats all over the place. I had to put a bunch of extra lines, but not why I'm here right now. So we're going to just look at this repair job we did yesterday. That's about 20 hours ago when we epoxied that crack, and now I'm going to go ahead and take these clamps off and see how well it did. Pardon me for the noise. It's generators running to pump out a boat right next to me that was taking out water. So can't help that. They got to get that water pumped out. But anyway, here we go. Let's take these clamps off and see how it went. So far, so good. Solid. Solid. I think that's going to work. So let's call that done. I don't even think I have to sand it down because I got off most of the epoxy. And it looks pretty good right now. So let's put some more teak oil on it when we're ready to do our next teak oil, which is not happening today because it's bad out here. So, see you next time. All right, hey everybody, we're back at the boat today, and it's been a few days since I did that crack repair on the teak, and now it's time to go ahead and put some more teak oil on all this teak. I needed a couple of coats, so I'm gonna go ahead and get one coat on today, and then maybe come back tomorrow and finish the other coat. I got a regatta coming up Saturday, so I'm trying to get all this stuff done before the regatta, so the boat looks nice and pretty. So the product that I'm using is a product called Wacko Teak Oil. This works really well. It's a varnish and teak oil mixture, but I've been happy with it. I've been using it since I bought the boat and very happy with it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and add a coat to this today, and then we'll see how it turns out. All right, well, I think that does it for all the teak around the cockpit, the coaming boards, and this back plate. And so that's what I'm going to do today. There might be some other spots that might need it, like the handrails, whatnot, but I'm not going to get to that today. I'm just going to go ahead and do the coaming boards and this backboard, and then we'll see how this looks after it dries, and we'll see if it needs another coat. Thanks for watching.
Last Saturday, it was time again for Black Creek Yacht Club's monthly Full Moon Regatta. After putting all that work into the boat, I was excited to get some sailing time in again. This time, I was joined by our friends Travis and Ash Scarboro. Travis was on the tiller, I was on the sails, and Ash enjoyed the ride and provided much-needed refreshments from down below. It was a nice evening of sailing. I even attempted my first drone shot while underway, which you will see at the end of this montage. Cheers!
March Full Moon Regatta is on. Now we've got 3 boats. I'm joined by Ash, and Travis, we got a marker to hit way over there. made a decision and decided to say, we're not hitting that marker over there. This boat doesn't like to sail into the wind, which is fine. It's a great boat, but it doesn't like to go in the wind. So we're gonna just have some fun out here. Docks again. It's been a fucking amazing evening though.
Hell yeah.
Motoring in.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a good time.
Travis did an amazing job steering the boat while I was trying to land the drone. First time flying in on the boat, and that was scary as hell. Couldn't get it back on the boat. Travis spun it around and got us stopped, and we got it on the board. Thank God. Black Creek Marina.